On this channel before, I have already talked about changes that I would like to see to the roles that we already have in the game. So that means the trader, the collector, the bounty hunter, and also the new addition, which is the moonshiner. Rockstar themselves have already said that as we get more roles in the future, they would like to carry on updating the previous roles. And so far with the updates that we have had, there hasn't been any major updates to the previous roles. Back on the 5th of February last month, Rockstar did do an interview with Polygon, and they did mention how they're going to carry on updating previous roles. It does say, in addition, previously introduced roles are still going to get upgrades and love from the devs. We'd love to keep adding new collections and additional variety to collect the gameplay, eventually adding the next step, much in the same way that the moonshiner is the evolution of the trader. One idea we really want to explore is the idea of posse members each finding a distinctly different part of an item, and when brought together forms the collectible you can log in your collection. And this is just based on the collector role. We could very well get some updates for the trader, the bounty hunter, and also the moonshine role. But with this in mind, I've given my opinion in a previous video way before this was even announced back in 2019, before even the moonshine update was released, so I'll leave a link in the description down below of my opinion of how I would like to see the collector role changed. We've also heard from Rockstar of a potential way that it could very well change in the next major update, but I was also curious about your guys' opinions. So I dropped this post on the community tab. We've already heard Rockstar talking about changing up the collector role in a Polygon interview a few weeks back, and if these changes were made, I would definitely be happy. But I'm curious if there's anything that you want to see changed in the collector role. It could be new features, potential unlocks, or even something you want to get rid of. With videos like this, thank you to everyone that did drop a comment and interacted with this post. Unfortunately, I can't include every single comment, so what I've had to do is get some of the top comments and also comments that represent a lot of other people's opinions. If you agree or disagree with anything that I say in this video, then let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any other suggestions of ways you would like to see the collector role change, whether it be new features or potential unlocks, or even something that you really dislike about the collector role and you want to get rid of it, then let me know in the comment section down below. The first comment comes from Albert, and this is actually an important one. He says, changes? You mean nerfs, I guess. Collector role will be nerfed so you can't make use of the public collectible maps we all know. Instead of focusing on bugs and modes that are really fun, creating or expanding the existing roles, they will nerf the only good source of income. That's it. It happened in GTA Online. It will happen to Red Dead Online, no doubt. And I think for this, Albert has a point. The changes that I was on about wasn't actually stuff to do with being nerfed, but in fact the new additions that should hopefully be coming within the future, whether or not it is the very next major update or an update way in the future, because that's what Rockstar keep talking about in many other interviews. But I do believe the collector role will be nerfed. The number one way to make money within Red Dead Online is for you to set up the trader, set up the moonshiner, and then just go through the collector role, with the majority of the money coming from that collector role. And it's been made very easy because we have the interactable map, and this allows us to see every single collectible location, no matter what the cycle it is. And I don't think Rockstar planned for this to happen. They wanted us to go to Madame Nazar, buy collector maps, go out, find those collectibles, come back to Madame Nazar, buy another collect, but no one in the right mind does that. And it seems like Rockstar tried to change this with the moonshine update, because the collector role did get a change with additional cycles and where you can find collectibles. And this did put the collector map out for a couple days, but we figured it out, and then that collector map was back up and running a few days later. So I do believe the collector role is heading towards a nerf with how we find collectibles within the world, and I think Rockstar will try and drag us away for that interactable map. The next comment comes from C. Eno, and he says new collector items that are more meaningful instead of the same bulk things every week, like a rare revolver, a rare hat or coat or vest, worn by a famous person like in story mode. And I think with how the collector role is set up, we can have so many different collectible sets that it doesn't actually have to be the stuff that we've got right now. Yes, it can go down a very similar path. We can easily get more collectibles for the jewelry, for the tarot cards, for the coins and all of that, and we can just keep on expanding on those, or we can go to different areas. I like the idea of being able to find different types of collectibles like a rare revolver, or at least weapon parts, and then as soon as you find all of those parts, you can then have that weapon. In that Polygon interview as well, Rockstar did say that they will look to add new collection sets. So with this, it's almost definitely guaranteed to happen at some point, whether it be the very next major update or an update after that. The good thing about the collector role is because it's so simple, it really can just be expanded on. It is very scalable with the different types of collector sets it can get. After that, the gameplay for itself is pretty much the same thing. Go to a location, find a collectible, come back, sell it as part of a set or sell it as an individual item. The item that you have to go and find can be anything. I've even seen people talk about finding fossils, as fossils is definitely something that you find within story mode and you note it down in your journal. And they are found within Red Dead Online, but you can't actually interact with them. them. Next comment comes from Kilgore Trout, and he says special jewelry to wear, like the bracelets and rings collected we never actually embrace. And he goes on to say blah blah blah, you all rock, wash your hands, don't collect gerbs. So yeah, that is very good advice, but he also brings up a very good point of being able to find these different collectibles and also use them. There are some things that don't make sense for you to use, like the tarot cards. Not sure how you can use that on a day-by-day basis within this game, but you can definitely use the different types of jewelry that you can collect. With the summer update, Rockstar allowed us to finally get rings on our character, and even though there isn't a massive uproar about players wanting to get as many different types of rings compared to other content, it's just that nice little detail. You're able to find these collectible rings, you might as well be able to wear them. I think that this could be a very nice addition to the game, and then gives you a choice of whether or not you want to find this collectible because you want to customize your character a bit more, or whether or not you want to find these collectibles just because you want to make money. And this also links back to a previous comment where we can find the different types of collectibles, which is like a rare revolver, and then you can use that revolver, or you can yet again have a choice to sell that on. Next comment comes from Popper, and he says, I think it would be nice if they had some new sets. For example, they could add gemstones. You can find them in a river or use a pickaxe in a cave. And this is another comment asking for new sets, but Popper is also talking about a new line of gameplay, which is another way of just collecting within this game. It also links to another role that I would 100% love to see, and that is a Prospector Role. For you to be able to go into different types of caves, or even just find a different place within the world of Red Dead, and for you to excavate and find these different types of minerals. But instead of finding minerals, you can find the different collectibles such as gemstones. The collector role still remains the same. It's still you go into a location, finding a collectible, and then coming back to sell it on, or save it as a set to then sell on later. But now you're just using a different type of tool to find a different type of collectible. And if you can remember, because I imagine most of you are rank 20 collectors at this point, but when you first start the collector role, you can only find a set amount of collectibles, and then you need to find a shovel, which unlocks more collector sets, and then you can get a metal detector, which unlocks even more collector sets. The pickaxe could very well be that very next option, which unlocks more sets in the future with a future update. And the last comment for this video comes from 60473 Hellraiser, and he says, I want to be able to collect more than just 10 sets. Also, let the special binoculars have a new feature for collecting. When we got these roles originally, it did expand how much we can hold within our satchel, and it's definitely open for Rockstar to allow us to keep on adding to that. But I definitely like the idea of going back to some of the equipment that you can unlock through these roles, which just isn't worth it. You can buy refined binoculars within Red Dead, and that is to go through the collector role, but no one in their right mind uses them. If you just use Eagle Eye, you can easily find every single collectible, and if you're playing with a controller and you're near a collectible, your controller will vibrate. You have more than enough information within this game to know the exact point in which a collectible can be found, and this probably goes back all the way to the beginning with how this collector role is not playing out the exact way in which Rockstar would like it. If we didn't have the interactable map where we know the exact location of every collectible, maybe the refined binoculars may be needed, but because we know the exact location, those refined binoculars are absolutely pointless, so please do not buy them. But it would be nice if Rockstar can find a way to change those refined binoculars so it actually benefits the role as it currently stands. But this does all depend on how Rockstar changes the collector role. As said, they may nerf the role, meaning that you cannot use the interactable map to find collectibles, so that refined binocular may be used more compared to what it is used now. And maybe the way that they saw the refined binoculars helping players find collectibles, maybe if they do nerf the collector role and change it so you can't use the interactable map, maybe, just maybe, those refined binoculars will be more beneficial to the players. But anyway guys, those are just a few suggestions of ways we can see the collector role improving, and it does seem like a lot of the improvements do rely on there just being more collectibles within this game, which is actually a very good thing to do and very easy for Rockstar to do. So maybe we can very well see these changes added within the future of this game, whether it be the very next update or an update after that. With it only just being collectibles that players are wanting to change, it's not too hard for Rockstar to do that. The gameplay is still very much the same, it's just now you're adding additional collectibles to be found in new locations. There may be a point if you keep on adding a load of different collectibles that the world of Red Dead will just be filled with collectibles, and you can't walk for a couple seconds without finding a new collectible. But for that to happen, you probably will need hundreds and hundreds of sets, and we are nowhere near that as of yet. But anyway guys, those are a few suggestions of ways we can see the collector role changing within the very next major update, or just future updates. If there's anything else you would like to add to these suggestions, then let me know in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.